Now I know some people hate this, some people love it. For me, I'm kind of in the middle. That's definitely something to keep in the front of your brain. It's really normal in Thailand to not see that, if that makes sense. Hello friends, and welcome back to Thailand. It is a windy, gloomy day, but I like it. It's not hot, I'm not a sweaty mess, which is always great. Now, if you're coming from the West, Thailand is gonna be much different than what you're used to in a multitude of ways. So in today's video, I've got 7 things for you that are gonna be normal, pretty much everyday things in Thailand that you more than likely have not dealt with in your home country, at least not as often. A few of them are funny, a few of them are kind of scary, and a few of them are sad, so let's get it started. Okay, finally found a quiet spot. I love coming to the market, I like filming, but it's always a bit of a nightmare to trying to find a spot that's quiet. Okay, so I don't want to waste too much of your time, so let's just hop right into it. If you've watched enough videos from Thailand, or especially if you've been here, you'll notice that the traffic situation is a little bit hectic. So one thing that's normal here that you're definitely gonna run into if you spend especially an extended period of time here, like I said, some of these are fun, some of these are not so fun. And one not so fun reality is that with the crazy hectic traffic, the amount of motorcycles on the streets here, there are a lot of traffic fatalities in Thailand. I think it's one of, if not the highest in the world. So when you hear a lot, you're driving around, at some point you're gonna come across an accident, and it's very likely that somebody's gonna be significantly injured or worse. Now, especially for someone like me, motorcycles have always been near and dear to my heart, but one of the realities is that bad things can happen, so that's something you gotta kind of wrap your mind around. Sneaky, I didn't even notice him. Now, a few things that I didn't know before I got here is that there's a few activities, I guess you would call them, that it's something a lot of people partake in Thailand. It's a reason that a specific group of people come here, one of the things. There's a few different ones. Some things in Thailand, even though you see them all the time, they're actually illegal. So a big main one is one of the entertainment industries, I guess you could call it here. You might be surprised to know that it's actually illegal. Other things like e-cigarettes, and there's actually quite a few of them that you're gonna see them all the time, but they're actually illegal. So a normal thing in Thailand is being exposed to stuff and seeing things that are technically against the rules, but everybody just kind of does them anyway. Okay, so now we're gonna speak in some generalizations. I already know there's gonna be people in the comment, well, I've seen this, and I've met this person. Of course, it's a generalization. There's exceptions to every rule, right? And one of those being, if you are coming to Thailand, especially if you're planning on dating, okay, my bad, I had to move again. Of course, somebody started cranking the music over there. But like we were saying, a generalization. A lot of Thai girls are looking for the traditional relationship roles. This means that a lot of girls are looking for a partner that's gonna take care of them. If you're not into that, if you're on the 50-50 side of things, that's definitely something to keep in the front of your brain. Another thing to kind of go hand in hand with that is some people won't be too forthcoming about what they're looking for. Of course, there's bad people no matter where you go. If you're into that, all good. If that's not something you're looking for, something to keep in mind. Now, this one I can only really make a comparison to America because I haven't spent enough time anywhere else. But in Thailand, when you're out and about on the street, seeing homeless people, like blatant substance usage, if you know what I mean, or people just sitting around asking for money, that is actually super rare here. I'm sure in some places it's worse than others. I've seen it a little bit more in Bangkok, but at least in Pattaya, it is super rare, especially when you compare it to America. If you've ever been to California, Los Angeles especially, you know. Well, I do understand that some people in those situations are a victim of circumstance. It is really nice and it is totally normal to be able to walk down the street here, to be able to park your motorbike wherever you want and not have to worry about some tweaker following you down an alley or trying to steal the headlight off your motorcycles. It's really normal in Thailand to not see that, if that makes sense. Now, especially when you're in the major metropolitans in Thailand, it can be pretty easy to notice and spot fairly quick that Thailand really never sleeps. Now, whether you're trying to get some food late at night or maybe you're a nomad working online so your hours are crazy, it's pretty much always available for you to find somewhere. It's not like every single place is gonna be 24 hours, but even here in Jomtien, where it's quieter. There's stuff that's 24 hours. There's places you can hang out that have Wi-Fi. And no matter what time you're walking around down here on the beach, there are people there all night. There's traffic all night. You can essentially get taxis whenever you want. You can get food delivered a lot of the time. It can be a little hard sometimes if you get into like 3 or 4 in the morning, but talking from like midnight to 2, not really much changes. So another normal thing in Thailand is not really having to plan everything into the daytime. You can kind of spread it out a little bit more, especially if you're a night owl like myself. That's super great. Now, Thailand over the past 10 or 15 years especially has taken huge strides to modernize with the rest of the world. And this is still something that they are focused on doing all over Thailand and especially in the major cities. Now, something that comes with that, something that I hate, even though I understand it's necessary, and it's one of those things that's kind of pointless to hate because it's always gonna be a thing, construction. It is very normal in Thailand. You could probably hear it right now behind me. I've said it quite a few times. There's always a grinder or a jackhammer or something going on somewhere. So especially if you're planning on living here, pick what part of town you're living in because there's usually huge projects going on or roads are ripped up and traffic is already kind of a nightmare sometimes. So if half the road is ripped up, kind of like Jomtien is right now, it can make things a little bit hectic. So one thing that is very normal in Thailand is just hearing, seeing, and dealing with construction all the time. Now, a major difference between Thailand and America, especially America, it's kind of this way, but it's really not so in your face. Thailand is pay to play. If you've lived here or you spent enough vacations here or whatever, you'll kind of know what I mean. If you don't know what I mean, let's just say if you're financially comfortable, there's not a lot of things in Thailand that you won't be able to make happen if that money goes to the right places. Now, yes, this is kind of true in America, but it's kind of, you know, behind closed doors and you got to know the right people. In Thailand, not so much, especially when it comes to just convenience and things like that. There's not a lot that you will have to deal with the way that it is, or there's not an easier way to get around it or make it happen if you don't throw some money at it. Now, I know some people hate this, some people love it. For me, I'm kind of in the middle. Sometimes it's great and it is really nice to be able to just kick some money at a problem and have it not be a problem anymore. But other times it can be a little bit frustrating to know that the only way it's really convenient or possible for some things is that you have to throw some money at it. Now, if I was trying to name every single thing that's normal in Thailand that you're gonna see all the time, that you don't see in the West, especially in America, we'd be here all day long. If you haven't had a chance yet, this is the second video in this series. I have another video talking about the exact same thing, 7 more things that are normal in Thailand that are not normal where you come from. As always, thank you guys for watching. I can smell some of this food. I'm gonna go get my hands on it. I'll see you in the next video.